I will be reviewing the Born to Run palette by Urban Decay. This is the palette, cool packaging. It has like different places in the world on it. When you open it up, you have a bunch of gorgeous shades, a fairly large mirror at the top. So I'm just lowering my settings so you can see the colors of the palette without it being so freaking bright. So these are the colors. They're absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to show you guys swatches and then we'll get into doing a look. So for our first set of swatches, we have Breakaway, Stranded, Blaze, Weekender, Still Shot, Riff, and Good as Gone. Freaking gorgeous. So we have Hell Ride, Baja, Accelerate, Guilt Trip, Ignite, Smog, and Wanderlust. And in the last row, we have Wild Heart, Punk, Double Life, Jet, Drift, Radio, and Big Sky. So those are the last row in the palette. Okay, so I know my hair is like insane. I'm obviously going to do a makeup look now, and I've already used this palette. If you didn't see the makeup tutorial, it's because you don't watch Love and Hip Hop. I will link that video in the description box so you can see the other look I created with this palette. I was obsessed. This palette is great. This is my second time using it. I have no complaints about the colors. I think that this palette is really constructed nicely. The whole idea of this palette is that you're supposed to only be able to bring one palette with you. And I feel like you can definitely do that with this palette. If I were traveling, I would want to bring this palette with me because I just feel like it has all the colors that I would use for looks that were neutral and looks that were colorful. I might bring a palette that was just bright colors along with this one because even though this does have colors in it, it doesn't necessarily have like a yellow or a matte green or a matte blue, you know? So it has colors that I feel can work with every skin tone and colors that are great, but because of the eye looks I like to do, I would definitely be packing more than just this. However, if I did just pack this, I feel like I could get a bomb-ass look. A couple bomb-ass looks. When I swatched just now on my arms, I did have on the Urban Decay Primer Potion, so I am going to, you know, apply some to my eyelids. The mirror is so bomb in this palette. I love it so much. And I truly do not know how to use this product, so don't judge me. Don't come for me. I need to like watch a tutorial. And don't come for my nails either. My appointment is coming up this week and I'm so excited to get them done. I'm like dying for a new nail design. This palette retailed for, I believe, I'm gonna say $58. It was expensive. I was like, bitch. But I had actually brought back the Marc Jacobs foundation, so it was an exchange, and then I got a new Fenty sponge. So it wasn't a big deal. The price wasn't a big deal because I was doing an exchange. But I mean, if you're going in there to get this palette, be aware that it is not cheap, child. This is one of the more, I think this might be the most expensive palette I own to date, minus the Makeup Forever like flash palette. That shit was expensive. Okay, so I'm gonna start with Riff. Yeah, I'm gonna start with Riff, and I'm just gonna work it up above the crease, child. And for foundation, I have on my MAC Studio Fix Fluid, but I also have on my NARS, what is it called? All Day Luminous or something like that. It'll be in the description box. So I mixed the two foundations, and then I used my NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer. I'm actually shocked that there's not a lot of reviews for this palette. Like, did it not get sent out in PR? Like, I'm so confused. When somebody requested that I use this palette, and so I was like, okay, I'll check it out. That's actually how I ended up with it. Somebody requested that I did a review for it, and then when I went to go look for reviews for the palette, I couldn't find many. I was like, what is going on here? There was barely any reviews for it, and I was shocked because it's a nice palette and it came out a while ago. I thought it was like brand spanking new. but it's not. It came out a minute ago, so I don't know what's up with that, but nobody reviewed it, so I didn't see like any like really big YouTubers reviewing it. I saw smaller channels reviewing it. Nobody with a big name that nobody that I actually like watch, you know, except for Samantha Ravindal. I don't know her last name. I just know that she's Canadian and I love her. Above the crease, I've applied this brown shade. On the outer V, I'm gonna apply Baja. I haven't switched brushes. Oh, and I'm using my MAC 217 brush right now. See, this is what I mean. I wish this palette had like a yellow, but I'll settle for gold. I might grab another palette to complete this look because I really do want to do yellow. And while I am doing this, I'm just going to take Baja on the lower. I just have to grab my JUVIA'S Place palette really quickly because I want to use yellow. First of all, brightness, get your ass back down. Thank you. Unfortunately, I have to dip into another palette because this palette does not have a yellow. I wouldn't say the palette's missing a yellow because the palette looks great without a yellow. But you know what? There are two browns in here. One is a little bit shimmery. It has like a glitter to it. And the other one is a matte brown. We could have lost that other brown shade. You feel me? There's lots of glitters in here. So if we lost that brown shade, we could have definitely included like a yellow or something. But I don't work at Urban Decay, so I don't have a say. Okay? So I'm just going... I don't really like the way that's mixing. I need a different brush. So I'm just going above the orange with the yellow. And I'm literally taking it up like it's up there. That's basically all I wanted to do with the yellow. So I'm going to go back into the orange shade and just fine tune. Brighten it back up. For brow bone highlight, I think I'm going to go with Blaze. And then on the inner corners, I'm going to take Blaze as well. We're going to go with Stranded. We're going to add a little bit of concealer to our lid. I'm on the broad shit, 23 hoes. I'm on the broad shit, 23 hoes.
Fuck a palm reading nigga when you palm itch. Need a presidential rollie and a bomb bitch. I'm on the broad shit, 23 hoes, all shit. Said she never been as high inside a cockpit. I bet she leave a new nigga just to get with me. High fashion, how to swag, and this ain't new to me. Man, fucking on her, had that bitch wildin'. Fucking with me, had to get that whole stylist. She want that money, I'm with it. Hundreds and hundreds and fifties. I brought a hold of my city. I brought a hold of my city to go.
So I'm going to wet my brush. It has Stranded on it.
We was ducking charges from the law. Running up a check, I spent it on you. I had to run up a check. I'm having dreams of the jet.
So now where the line meets, you just want to take Baja, which is the matte orange shade, and you just want to tap it over the center there to blend the meeting point. And I almost feel like I want to add one more color to this. So obviously we're going to have to add a darker shade. We can't add a lighter shade to that, and it's going to look weird. So I'm going to take Hell Ride, which is the deep purple shade, and I'm just patting it on the outer portion of the eye.
She never been as high inside a cockpit. I bet she leave a new nigga just to get with me. High fashion, how to swag, and this ain't new to me. designer and it's double G. Penthouse sweet, I wanna get to me. Penthouse sweet, they never get to me. No, no, no.
And because this is not good enough for me, I'm going to take it one step further, and I'm going to take Wild Heart, and I'm actually going to put it right in the center here. I'm going to wet it. You don't have to wet your shimmery shades, but sometimes it's nice to. And I'm just fusing it right here on the center line. And you're just going to pat that shade on. You don't want to do too much brushing. Kind of want it just to be like a, almost like you would be doing a halo eye. And I have fallout on my face, so I'm going to go and get it off. I'll be right back. I'm going to line my waterline with my Wonder Pencil by NYX. I'm wearing the Tahiti Lashes by Shop Lady Lashes. I'm going to take my STILA, my STILA Liquid Glitter and Glow eyeshadow, or Glitter and Glow Liquid eyeshadow, and I'm just going to apply it on the lower inner corner. And I need to apply some lower mascara. Okay, so this is the finished look. Girl, I don't even have on lipstick. What am I talking about? I can't. We are going to get a lip done. So I'm using Bittersweet Lip Pencil, Longwear Lip Pencil by MAC. I really want to just do a nude lip because, I mean, I don't want to do like a pink lip. Like, that's too much. I'm just going to throw on Up to No Good by Fenty Beauty. And then Lily's Motor City by MAC. And to top her off, honey, I'm going to take my Dazzle Glass in the shade Pleasure Principle. Okay, so this is the finished makeup look. Hopefully I'm not out of focus because I suck. My final thoughts on this palette is that it's totally worth it. Love the quality of the palette. Love the concept of the palette. I'm not crazy about the packaging. I think the packaging's cool, but I don't think the packaging's cute, okay? And I like cute packaging. This packaging is kind of, I don't know, it kind of just reminds me of postcards, and I don't collect postcards, so I don't really care for the actual pictures on the package. And it's quite heavy, actually. I forgot to mention that. But the mirror and, of course, the shades inside are absolutely stunning. I've been able to create 2 looks that I am obsessed with. The last look I created, I love, and this look I'm in love with as well. And I feel like I'll still be using, I feel like I'm gonna keep using this as my main palette going forward. So I'm really happy with this palette. I'm happy that I got to exchange that crappy ass Marc Jacobs foundation for something worth my coin, okay? And this is it. I'm literally loving this palette, like literally every color in here. All the shimmers, all the mattes. I've been able to use a lot of the colors so far because of the 2 looks I did. I made sure to use a bunch of colors when I was filming because I wanted to test the quality of the palette, the pigmentation, everything. I want to see how it shows up on my skin. So I would definitely say to purchase this if you obviously have the money. And I think that's pretty much it. The side of the palette, which I never went over, it says "You're not lost, you're born to run," which is the name of the palette. Just a couple more specs before I go. You are getting 21 shades at 0.80 grams. Anyway, bulk made in the USA and or imported ingredients. Assembled in the Dominican Republic. Distributed by Urban Decay Cosmetics. in California. It has a 24-month shelf life, which is great. And I never really go based on what my makeup says anyway. I use my makeup until I decide it's no longer working for me. Like, fuck the shelf life. And that's pretty much it. I did purchase mine in person at Sephora, so it is in store. And there was quite a bit. I feel like there's no, I really feel like nobody's buying this palette, and I don't know why, because it's so freaking bomb. Like, out of all the palettes that I've purchased this year, I think this is probably the best one. And what have I purchased this year? I purchased the Crayon Case palette. I purchased the Fenty Beauty palette. I purchased the Crayola Chair. Let's not even go there. The Prism palette. And y'all know the Prism palette is dear to my heart now. But this palette, I'm sorry, but the Prism palette just got debunked, just like the ABH pomade chow, and it is now a myth. This is the business, this is the bee's knees, this is where it's at, and yeah, so that's basically it. I love you all, and I'll definitely see you in the next one.